Hello, guys. This is Shar. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for returning. Now, this video is about yours truly, Marques, aka Marquavius. Now, I've given him that name because I felt like he was like no other, just some old made up deadbeat. But after listening to the interview that he did with Carlos King and Dr. Heavenly tonight, I actually have a newfound respect for him, and I may call him Marquez. Is it Marquez or Marquez? Whatever. Knowing me though, I probably will deviate back to Martavius because I just like that crazy chopped up name. But yeah, I'm glad he came on because he shed light to a lot of things that we did not know. Obviously, a lot of things that we were misled on, and a lot of things that we just simply did not understand when we were getting that information from his wife, Trisha. And as you know how I feel about how Trisha talks, her voice, and she can't help it. I just really be joking with, how her voice is. But, honestly, we never, I was getting ready to say she's like Marceau, which, you can never understand what she's saying. But you almost can. You almost never can understand what Trisha is talking about because she goes, unlike Marceau, where he goes around the world and back and trying to use so many big words, Trisha is the complete opposite. She's short. She's not giving you enough information, and she, how she explains things is choppy. And you guys, y'all all know that. She chops up the story. She leaves certain things out. You know what I mean? And she only gives you certain parts of it, which always leaves you like wondering like, huh? What? But anyway, the interview was very, very good. Marquez talked about how he had spinal meningitis as a baby, an infant, which is why he's seems to be like a little bit slower or delayed. He said he had to relearn all the motor functions for the most part. As he was a child, he had to relearn those things because of the condition. Impaired those things to a degree. So him seeming delayed or slow or whatever is a real thing. And I will be the first to say, I apologize because I know I talked about him. I know I talked about him being slow acting and delayed and dumbfounded and all this and that, which is why I'm glad that he came on to, talk and share his side of the story on things. Because it is a reality show and they do edit things to make a person look a certain kind of way. And quite frankly, he is portrayed to look bad and like a deadbeat on the show. Now, I don't know truly if he truly is or not, even though Trisha didn't really say he was a deadbeat. However, Ken makes it seem like he's a deadbeat. And Marquez, he said out of his own mouth when he was on the show that he left the family and, he moved to Atlanta, and he said he had not been there as much as he would have liked to. But moving on, long story short, there is some mess in the game as it relates to Trisha and Ken. Like, she's not being completely truthful as to when exactly they really started to get together. The way it seems, the way Marquez spoke on it, it seemed as though Trisha started communicating with this guy and getting a little bit closer to this guy while obviously she's still married, but not only that, while the man was still in the household and possibly thinking in the back of his head like he's still working on on the relationship and trying to, make this thing work. You know what I mean? Whereas she's not even thinking along those lines anymore. She done went to the gym, found the love for the gym, found this man that, she associates the love of the gym with this man, and they just got this thing for fitness in the gym, and she done just got infatuated with him. And and so be it. Here it is. They start communicating off and on, or texting and this and that. And like Marques said, the man used emojis and this and that, and was calling a woman, and they had an altercation over the phone. And Ken basically told him, check your woman. And it's like, dude, he checking you. You know what I mean? Like, but in Ken's defense, I guess he's saying, and as we know of Trisha, she portrays to be like quiet, and she is quiet, but she goes after what she wants. You know what I mean? She'll show up to the door, Martell's house. You know what I mean? She'll show up to the door, or she'll show up to get what she wants when she's interested. She'll be there. Okay? She ain't saying much, but she'll be there. That's what I've learned about Trisha. So when you think back to Ken saying, check your woman, she's probably was coming on to him, or showing that she's interested, or, open to his advances. And this is why he immediately told Marques to check your woman. You know what I mean? That's how I took it. That's what it seems like to me when he say check your woman, because she on me. She talking to me. She be in the gym trying to get at me. You know what I mean? Could be wrong, but that's what it seems like, right? And so he even said out of his own mouth during the interview, he truly, honestly does not have a clue as to when they actually really started getting together. But he pieced a little bit of a timeline dating all the way back to 2016, in the true early stages of them connecting. Okay. And he also explained, because I'm out of context, they talk to these people for a long time, like hour and a half or whatever. So of course I'm not going to speak on everything, but he also spoke on the fact that he owned up to not being there for Trisha with her parents and then her sister. And he said that on the show. But he said that Trisha had been experiencing trauma way before then. She comes from a family that they tell secrets, they keep secrets, and they go to the grave. And I believe that, because she will do that. She will go to the grave with a secret. She ain't telling nothing. You see, she already leave things out. You know what I mean? She omits. You know what I mean? If she don't say it, it didn't happen type thing. That's Trisha's claim to fame. And so he said that she had experienced a lot of trauma in her life even before the parents died. And she came from a strict upbringing, with military upbringing, and they didn't really hug that much, or I guess say I love you that much. And he came from a family of the complete opposite. But he did say that they had been together ever since they were teenagers, which we knew. They both talked about that on the show. But eventually, from what I gather from what he was saying, is that they kind of started growing apart as they started getting older. And he currently is not in love with her, or physically want to be with his wife, or in love with her, which is why he's, open to granting her the divorce, because he's not really in love with her. But he said he will always have love for her, obviously, because that's the mother of his children. And I believe that, and I believe that for Trisha as well, because she don't want Marques at all. She wants Ken. You know what I mean? That's clear. And prior to Ken, she was wanting other people as well, which is why she ended up at Martell Holt's door during the time when Martell and the early stages of Martell and Mel trying to get their divorce going and finalized. So And as Marquez hinted around, you know, two people that are in pain, you know, emotionally because of their marriages and their relationships not working, they probably felt comfort with each other and did the do. But he said, of course, he couldn't confirm it, but he's thinking about himself, a man, and I asked a chick to come over, and we both, you know, in this bad space, we ain't going to no gym, you know, or we not working out either. We not working out in that way. But, you know, he went on to say that he doesn't actually know. So he can't confirm nor deny. But, yeah, I enjoyed Ken. I got a new, like I said, found respect for him because now we understand why he acts the way he acts. And even though I think he is a little cap with trying to act like, you know, he paying for half of this and $5,000 for the new house, paying half. He said he was joking about the $400, like he didn't really mean that was a joke. I don't believe that. I really believe that he wanted her to pay the $400, otherwise he wouldn't have said it, and you wasn't laughing afterwards. You know, you were serious. You were serious. So it does not, unless they edit it out and put it in a clip, or you just sitting there, because after you said it, that's how you looked. You were just sitting there dumbfounded. But so I believe he is a little bit of a deadbeat in terms of, you know, just not really showing up as much as he should. And I ain't talking about the money part. And he really could be a deadbeat as it relates to the kids with that. But he was really bigging up that he, you know, was always paying half and paying half of the bills and this and that and this and that. Like he was so adamant with paying half of everything, and I just don't believe that. I just don't, because you weren't there, and I just don't believe he was doing that. But I also believe that he was kind of not really present for the kids on a regular, steady, repetitive basis. I believe that too, even though he was bigging that up, that he was just always there. And despite the fact that he moved out of state, like he was always on the phone with them. And, you know, he just never really had a gap in the relationship. And we know that that's not true. Because of what Trisha have said on the show. And so I mean, you know, he didn't want to own up to everything completely 100%. That's his choice or whatever. But I did learn a lot that we did not know about him. He says he has a background in entertainment in terms of the back end, I guess, producing things, producing shows, whatever. I think because he's a part of the show now, because Carlos King said he is still filming with the show, so we will continue to see him, and he'll probably be on the show next season, popping in on and off or whatever, because the triangle between him, Trish, and Ken, you know, he's signing on to do more episodes according to Carlos King. He confirmed that. You know, I feel like Marquez has the bug now. Like, he wants to be on TV. He wants to be a part of the show now. You know, he done got hot or whatever, even though a lot of the innuendo out there is kind of negative about him right at this very moment. And hopefully after seeing this interview, it will change for him or whatever. But, you know, the way they portrayed him on the show, it was just like, bad, right? So a lot of the innuendo that's out about him right now is negative, but I feel like he's got this little bug. And he's trying to he's trying to talk to Carlos King and, you know, pitch ideas for a reality show, you know, or a podcast for men to talk about their feelings and when things are not going right in relationships or marriages and what the men go through. You know, he's pitching that type of thing to Carlos King, and Carlos like, wait a minute now. So yeah, it seems like he's caught the bug of being on TV and he wants to be a part of more reality TV in some type of way himself, which is why he agreed to sign on to do more episodes. Yeah, but he's still perplexed, and when I say perplexed, he still don't quite understand exactly how and when Ken actually did come in the picture, because his wife has not actually explained that to him. You know what I mean? After he had moved away, he just heard about the guy being there, living there, and was always seeing the car up in the driveway or whatever. So he doesn't even really know that timeline exactly, which is why he has a lot of resentment for Ken. And you can't blame him. You know what I mean? Man wasn't there. This is true, but I guess he say, and it's probably toward the wife too. Can you at least tell me that you're moving the man in and having the man around my kids or whatever? And he's saying that wasn't done, which is why he has a little bit of anger. And but he says he's willing to move on once, I guess, they can have a real heart-to-heart sit down or whatever. And I thought they did that, but I guess maybe he means in real life without the cameras, you know what I mean, so they can really hash out some things. And then they talked about how when Ken was on the show and did his interview, Ken mentioned that it was a out of town recital. He stayed at a hotel 5 minutes away and somehow still missed the recital. And Marques says that the time was given to him, the wrong time was given to him, I guess by Trisha. Trisha told him the wrong time. I have to say that the wrong time was given to him deliberately to miss the recital. This is what he says. So who knows if that's true. It's, all three of them got two different stories as it relates to that. Well, actually, Trisha didn't even bring that up. Ken actually brought that up. But so I don't know. We don't know if that's true. He said that the time was given to him, the wrong time was given to him, and so that's why he ended up being late. However, he also was given a lot of disclaimers as to say, he was still struggling with the man being there and being around. He said he had just gave Trisha $5,000 to put on this bigger, better house that was not too far from their first house. And he had just found out that the Ken guy had keys, and they were going to get an Airbnb, or he was supposed to pay half on an Airbnb. And then Trisha calls him all of a sudden and says, hey, it's already paid for and Ken is coming. So, basically, I want you to stay somewhere else, not at the Airbnb. So he was pissed about it. So I don't know if he just got pissed and he just decided not to go because he was mad, or what. We'll probably never, ever, ever know the real truth behind that. But yeah, I actually enjoyed the interview with Marques. He seems to have really, despite all the negativity that Dr. Heavenly has said about him, she apologized actually, because now she knows the real too as it relates to him, and he accepted it. And he actually seemed like he really took a liking to Dr. Heavenly. And I think Heavenly told Carlos King that Carlos can give Marques her number. I think he's really, really trying to make connections, because he's really trying to get into this industry of entertainment. I don't know if it's reality TV per se or some other type of avenue of entertainment, but he's really, really, really hustling, trying to do that. That was clear during the interview, because he kept making little comments and little pitches here and there. So yeah, you guys, if you haven't checked out the interview, please check it out. I do have a little sound bite. Hold on. Okay, y'all. Now, I forgot to mention this part. This part was really, really good. I have a sound bite, but it ended up being 5 minutes long. I don't want it to be that long. I don't want the video to be that long. But girl, he said something tripped out. Marquez said something that tripped everybody out. It tripped Carlos out, Dr. Heavenly out, and me. And I'm quite sure a lot of other people that was watching it. Carlos asked him, what does he think about, the future going forward, and, just the whole scenario. Ken, Trisha, and Marquez said that he didn't think Ken was going to be around for too long. And Carlos King fell out the chair. Well, actually, no, he got up out of his chair and left the room with, he was in awe. Like, he was just outdone by that. And Dr. Heavenly was just shaking her head like, yup, I know what you mean. I get it. Because Marquez says that he's been around Trisha since high school. They've been together since high school. And he said he's never left. Well, he said the house, but in other words, he's saying that he's never left the relationship besides when he finally did, which was years and years and years later. But him and her was in the trenches for years. Nobody left the home and went and stayed nowhere for 2 and 3 days or for a week or anything like that when they got mad at each other. They were just in the relationship, in the trenches of the relationship, through and through, day in and day out, for however many years they were married. He's saying 2 years in, Ken is already getting so upset or uptight to the point where he's leaving the home for 3 days and actually left the city, left the state, went somewhere, stayed in a hotel for a weekend or whatever. And he's only 2 years in. So Marquez says he doesn't foresee Ken being around for a very long time. And Dr. Heavenly had to remind him that when Ken was on, he said that he wasn't going anywhere and he's in it to win it, basically, with Trisha. He's going to propose. That's what he's, wants to do. And he will do that. He is going to do that. It's just a matter of time. And Marquez begged to differ. He said he's not going to be around that long. So, yeah, it was a good interview. I enjoyed it. I really, really did. I enjoyed his interview better than Ken's. I mean, Ken gave some really good information, but it was kind of boring. Whatever. But it's a personality thing. It's a personality type of thing because Ken personality is a little blah. And Marquez is slow. He's moving slow, but he was a lot more upbeat and showed a lot of more personality than he did on the show. Like if that's how they edited him, they did him a disservice because he was a lot more upbeat, personable, talkative, and funny too. He had somewhat of a funny side. But anyway, I don't want to make this video long. You guys tell me what you think about Marquez. If you saw the video, the interview rather, put your comments down there. Did you like the interview? Did the interview with Marquez give you a newfound, not necessarily respect for him, but do you like him now? Because, we all hated him in the beginning because he just seemed like a deadbeat. A slow deadbeat. But now that we know what we know, do you guys like him now? Are you interested in seeing him on the show going forward? Do you want him to be a regular fixture on the show? And what do you think about him saying that Ken is not going to be around very long? Or put your favorite parts of the interview down in the description box. I do talk back. Like the video, subscribe, and until next time, guys. Bye.